the police out there, they're supposed to, do this thing called uphold the law. But sometimes people who are even in the police department, they have a tendency to, go a little irrational, especially over in New York because they've got just so many of them over there that a New York sergeant was actually suspended after throwing semen on a female coworker that he was enamored with. I mean, I've liked women. I've dated a number of women over the years, but not so much where I would take some special Packard sauce and then take and go throw it on them. Hey, I like you. Here. No, you don't do that shit. Sorry, you just don't do it. He's identified as Michael Iskano, age 54. He allegedly tossed semen onto the unidentified woman near the freight elevator. Because that's where love happens, near the freight elevator. At the police...
You got room to maneuver, I suppose.
Well, yeah, there's lots of room in those freight elevators. The victim, who also worked with him, is in the Organized Crime Control Bureau. Reports recently, immediately after it happened, and the police sources stated the substance was splattered on her, was tested, and determined to be the semen. The police sources said it had not been determined if it was his semen or not. I know people who would do me a favor. I don't know anybody who would do me so much a favor as say, hey, you want to, could you give me a little of your semen? I want to throw it on this girl because I like her. What does this guy think he's doing? Marking territory? And I hate to break it to him. If you're trying to get her pregnant, throwing it on her from across the room, it doesn't work that way. You might want to go back to those training films, so this is what happens if this is how you get an STD. Well, this is also how you get a woman pregnant. You don't throw it on them. You save that for the porno movies, but they don't get pregnant from that either usually. I mean, not in that way. Connie, your thoughts?
Generally, this kind of behavior, Cesar Millan suggests that if you have dominance problems with your dog, you need to be more calm, assertive, and set rules and boundaries. Don't force affection and give your dog a job. But I don't know. I don't know if that would work in this case.
I don't think. I've stirred demons over here. The dog was like, what the fuck is this? Lick it off.
I think I actually read in a subsequent article too that they eventually did get a sample from the officer in question, and it was determined that it was his. So, I guess he sat there and he thought, well, I really like this gal. How can I show her? Should I buy her flowers? Get some chocolate, ask her out. Maybe hump her leg. No, that would be too weird.
We'll leave the leg humping for Dawkins' dog. He's good at that. So I've heard. Just saying.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah, well, I have also heard people who live in New York lament that the IQ test that they have for the police officers in New York, they don't want them above a certain IQ. That's what you get.
Yeah, that's a good point here. We had a couple comments from here in the chat room here. Dawkins said, you can't throw semen at somebody and not expect any comeback.
Nice.
Tarvian said, throwing semen at someone is called seagulling. There's a new title on my brain I didn't need to know. Thank you, Tarvian. I didn't.
Wow, that's almost a show title now.
It's almost
stuff you didn't need to know.
Stuff you didn't need. Stuff that Packard did not need to know.
Yep.
Paul, your thoughts?
Well, as is often the case with things like this, I try to find the angle that no one else is going to come up with. So, and my mind immediately goes to science. Now, I produce semen, and I don't know about anybody else's semen, but the consistency of mine doesn't lend itself to throwing it on someone. And not only that, but like at the consistency that it is, the quantity that I'd have to be able to effectively throw it on someone is enormous. Like, how long has this guy been saving this up? Like 3 times a day. You know, it's like, wow, dude, get a job, get a life, get a pet. And then, and the other thing is, if it's not the consistency I would expect it to be, does that mean he's had a vasectomy, or he should, you know, sign up with the Livestrong Foundation, or what? I don't know.
Doc had suggested maybe he had it in a bottle at the canteen fridge.
Oh. He doesn't like you. I don't like you either. You better watch yourself. I have the death sentence on 12 systems.
He had quite as you suggested, he had quite a lot. And we kind of, which touches on somebody in the chat room, Torvi in the chat room said, "Is that a super soaker in your pants?" No, that's just a super soaker. That would take a lot. You'd have to quit your job and do that every day for, like, I don't know, for years just to fill it up. A super soaker?
That's love.
That's a lot of love. That's a lot of love.
By Nicolette Larson. Up to number 4 this week with a bullet.
Which is a projectile, which...
You know,
Indeed it is.
if she had been, but the thing is, if she had been wearing her spermicide shield, it probably would have stopped. It would have probably stopped it.
Oh.
I'm sure she brought it on herself, too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, the way they say these guys think is like, well, she brought it on herself. She smiled at me, so I had to, you know, like, ejaculate all over her. What? What?
It's classy with a capital K.
Yeah.
Sadly, this is probably the latest in a long string of rejections that this guy's had, too.
I bet.
Yep.
Wow, this guy.
I can't imagine why.
And see, the thing is that he previously had told coworkers that he liked her, so that's why he did it. Obviously, you know. Oh, I like her. Let me show her how much I love her. Mm-hmm. I hate to see what he does. He actually doesn't like somebody. Ugh.
And, you know, there's another thought. Okay, so he's walking around with this vessel of splooge, like walking around the office, and is it open so that it's ready? He can fling it on her, or does he just got a handful of it? And if it is open and exposed, I mean, everybody in the room's got to be like, who just came in their pants?
I was thinking along the same lines, like, hey, where's Bill coming out of the bathroom? He's got his hand all cupped up. What the hell's wrong with him? I was like, don't go and shake his hand.
Either one.
Well, now I really hope he wasn't storing it in the fridge. Can you imagine?
Goes in there on his 15-minute break. Got a little milk bottle.
Oh.
Hunched over the toilet.
I don't understand why some guys. I mean, I'm a guy. Paul's a guy. I'm sure this never occurred to either one of us to do shit like this. I mean, hey, I'm proud of my sperm. I'm not that proud of it. I need to fling it on people.
No.
Here, have some sperm.
I'm not even proud of mine. It embarrasses me at every turn.
It says here the sergeant was also assigned to a PSA 9. I'm not sure what PSA 9 is, which serves as a housing developments in Queens rather, and was suspended on June 17th, according to the police sources. So he's been on suspension for some time. I'm betting it's with pay. I want to bet you it's with pay. Now that kind of burns me up. You throw a splooge on somebody, yeah, you gotta stay home, and we're gonna pay you. Okay, I guess you go make some more.
when he said he was at a housing development, the first time you ran through that, it sounded like you said for the Queens.
Yeah, I did say kind of for the Queens.
I was going to say, well, that explains a lot, you know. He's a little bit out there.
Torvey in the chat room did the math. Somebody does math on the show. I can't do math. I need a calculator. He said on average you would take, okay guys, cross your legs, 350 ejaculations to fill a super soaker with a 1 liter chamber. So I'm sorry, by number 300, by number, I don't know, 7, if you're doing it consistently, I think you're going to start getting some peelage of skin. I'm just saying. Even with lube, you're going to get some peelage.
Yeah. And if you don't have a sufficient refractory time, then you're going to be it's just going to be seminal fluid. There's going to be no sperm in it.
Right.
Which is no fun at all.
Yeah.
Where's
that's
the fun
no
in that? I mean, if you're going to fling it on somebody, you want the quality stuff.
Karn's in here. Karn's in the chat room here. Bragging, he said, that would only take me like a month to do that. Okay. There's an image we didn't know. We didn't need to know. Thanks, Karn.
More stuff we didn't need to know.
More stuff we didn't need to know.
Yeah. Well, I've got that ice pick around here somewhere. I'm just going to poke that part of my brain right out.
Just don't fling it on anybody, Paul.
No.
Yeah.
Dawkins, he said, there's a difference between the Heimlich maneuver and attempting rape, according to the judge. Okay. Oh, I don't even know where to go from here. Oh, there's some people. Human race is funny. The human race is just too funny sometimes.
Yeah.